In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how teachers are saving 6 hours every single week using ChatGPT Coral and how you can start doing the same thing today. Most teachers are using ChatGPT completely wrong a road, and it's costing them hours every week. Stay with me for the next few minutes, and I'll change the way you teach.
Welcome to the debate. You know, when you teach a kid to ride a bike, there's always that terrifying moment where you just have to let go of the seat.
Right, because if you hold on forever, they never actually learn to balance on their own. They just, learn how to pedal while you do the heavy lifting of keeping them upright.
Exactly. And, well, that exact tension is what we are tackling today with the 2026 integration of AI, specifically ChatGPT, in the classroom.
Yeah, we're looking at a pretty fundamental divide here. Like, does integrating AI process tools, like a Socratic Tutor, actually enhance a student's cognitive struggle? Or does embedding AI right into their workflow inevitably compromise their learning?
Right. And I argue that when it's structured properly, AI fundamentally empowers student agency and actually deepens their learning.
And I look at this and honestly, I see a real risk. If we rely too heavily on AI to guide the educational process, we risk bypassing the authentic intellectual labor that students actually need to perform.
So let's look at where we actually are now. We finally have a secure, student privacy compliant portal for teachers.
Right, the FERPA compliant setup.
Yeah, exactly. Which finally closes what we call the capability overhang. You know, that frustrating gap where we had these massively powerful AI models, but we were just using them as like glorified search engines because of privacy fears.
Right, and just a general lack of training.
Exactly. But now, using structured prompts, educators can build a Socratic Tutor. It moves through 4 specific phases: Elicit, Probe, Diagnose, and Deepen.
Okay, but wait, how does that stop the AI from just giving them the answer?
Well, that's the key. It explicitly refuses to give direct answers. It forces the student to reason by pointing out logical gaps without doing the actual math for them.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that it's that clean in practice. I mean, look at why this shift toward process-oriented grading is happening in the first place.
You mean schools moving away from AI detectors?
Yeah, exactly. Schools are abandoning AI detection software because it's fundamentally unreliable. There are just way too many false positives. But deciding to evaluate a student's chat logs instead of their final essay, just because we can't catch the technology, that is, well, it's technological capitulation.
You really think it's capitulation?
I do, because you end up grading a student's ability to prompt a machine, right? Not their innate grasp of the actual subject matter.
Well, only if you're using outdated assessment models. I mean, the real shift isn't just grading chat logs. It's how these new collaborative tools change what we can even ask students to do. Like take ChatGPT Canvas and vibe coding.
Okay, but how does having an AI generate code for a student actually prove they understand the underlying concept?
Because the teacher is the one generating the environment, right? Not doing the work for the student. A professor can use natural language to instantly spin up an interactive HTML app showing, say, how data dispersion affects standard deviation.
Oh, I see.
Or adjusting reading levels.
Exactly.
They can use Canvas to adjust the reading level of a complex text with just a simple slider. Because teachers can build these custom sandboxes instantly, they can assign those rich multimodal projects institutions like Duke and Carnegie Mellon recommend.
Like weaving in local community interviews and things like that.
Yeah. So think of the AI here as a cognitive gym spotter. It doesn't lift the intellectual weight for the student, it just safely guides their reasoning process so they can, attempt much heavier conceptual loads without getting crushed.
Okay, I actually like the gym spotter analogy, but what happens when your spotter has no idea how much weight is actually on the bar?
What do you mean by that?
Well, yes, if you are using the OpenAI o1 model, you have a system using reinforcement learning to quote-unquote think before it speaks, which gives it PhD-level STEM accuracy.
Right, it reasons through the problem.
But the standard GPT 5.2 model, which is the one actually powering everyday classroom work, is fundamentally a predictive text engine. It just guesses the next most likely word. So how can a non-reasoning engine effectively peer review a student's work in Canvas without introducing, subtle, convincing logical errors?
I totally see why you think that. But let me give you a different perspective on how 5.2 operates under the hood. Even with non-reasoning models, we use chain of thought prompting.
By adding the step-by-step instructions?
Exactly. By simply embedding the instruction, let's think step by step, the AI is forced to output its reasoning sequentially before giving the student any feedback.
But does that actually fix the logic gap?
It drastically reduces logical errors because the model has to evaluate its own conditional logic line by line. The spotter isn't blind, it's following a strict safety protocol. And honestly, mastering these workflows saves educators an average of 6 hours a week.
Wow, 6 hours is a lot.
It is. That is real time that goes directly back into human empathy, mentoring, and relationship building.
Well, saving time is undeniably valuable. I'll give you that. But my lingering concern remains. If we shift our focus so heavily onto evaluating AI-assisted processes, we leave the true depth of a student's unassisted comprehension vulnerable.
That is definitely the worry.
Right, because when the training wheels finally come off and that AI spotter steps away, who's actually riding the bike?
And that is the core tension right there. Balancing cutting-edge technology with the necessity of cognitive struggle is it's a highly complex challenge. There is so much more nuance to explore in these 2026 frameworks, and we encourage everyone listening to dig into the perspectives and draw their own conclusions.
If this changed the way you think about AI and teaching hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New videos every week, right here on EduCreate AI. I'll see you in the next one.